So, when people are talking about the third screen, and you hear a lot of people talking about the third screen, what we say is we have to totally change the way we're thinking about that. Because it's not about the third screen. It's what we call a one-screen world philosophy, which is the screen that's in front of you. So someone may start on their laptop and then move to their tablet and finish up on their Android or their iPhone, but companies that are thinking that they need to have a mobile strategy or a tablet strategy, they're thinking about it incorrectly. It's just digital. And here's the funny thing. So if you look around the room, you see kind of different groups of people. So you do have a few people who are my age. And when you have people my age, we think of digital as this thing. Then we've got a lot of people who I watched just right before I came up, and this isn't knocking anyone, but people were doing their Gmails, and people were tweeting, and people were, one person was making reservations on OpenTable, and you're multitasking. So you're used to that. But the people today that are 15-year-olds and 18-year-olds, they're not even thinking. They're just living. And as marketers, those of us who are marketing, that's who we have to think about. We have to be thinking about those people who are just living a digital life every single day, and they're not thinking about going digital, and they're not thinking about what screen they're on. So we always focus on the screen that's in front of them, whatever it might be. And one of the things that we suggest is that you stop worrying about what you should be doing digitally and start worrying about what your consumers are doing. Focus on what they're doing and then change and change how you're doing it. So one of the things that we look at is we have a digital first posture, but not necessarily a digital first strategy, but a digital first posture. And we focus on that because that's the way we think we can reach people on their path to purchase. But here's another takeaway. It's a mantra that we've been using for years, which is think digitally, but act analog. So it's what we try and do all the time. Now here's the funny thing, right? This is a social media conference, and we're all sitting here analog. Why? And why isn't, is Hope in the room? Good. Why isn't someone periscoping this to everyone back at their office who didn't pay the fee? But they could, and it's going to happen. And if it's not happening, we have to worry about it. Why will people go to conferences? Now, they'll go to it for the interaction and the networking and all that, but the world is changing. And so this whole digital first posture, you have to offer that value added via digital. And if it's through path to purchase, how is that going to be value added? So some quick statistics. 25% of search results of the world's top 20 brands end up on user-generated content. So one of the things that we always say is, we talk about these love marks and these trademarks. So as a company, we own the trademarks. We don't own our brand. Who owns the brand? The consumers. They'll tell you what the brand means. The brand could be something completely different. And so if you think about it, that all of this content that users are generating, that's where searches are going. And that 25% figure continues to grow. Here's a really tough statistic. So 75% of all consumers polled say they don't trust what brands say in their advertising. Now think about your own life. You trust what other people say more than you trust what the brand says. And here's why this happens. In fact, 90% of all consumer decisions are due to a positive recommendation from someone that they trust. But here's the weird thing about someone that they trust. So think about the last time you bought something from Amazon. Is there anyone in this room who's never bought anything from Amazon? One, cool. So I just got to tell you, is there anyone in the room who works for Amazon? All right, so I can tell you this. So Amazon is a customer of ours, and my wife's in publishing, and my wife works for Hachette. And anyone who's following knows that Hachette and Amazon were in this war last year. So I wasn't allowed to talk about Amazon in the house because my wife was in war with Amazon, but Amazon's one of our big customers, and so boxes from Amazon would show up at our house because I buy from Amazon, and it just drove my wife Heidi crazy, and that has nothing to do with my talk today, but I just thought I'd share it. So here's the interesting thing about this trust. If you're buying something from Amazon and you see 3 negative reviews, you won't buy it. And you don't know who those people are. But they're people. They're not brands. And so those 3 negative reviews stop you from trying that product. So it's weird how we'll trust strangers more than we trust entities that we know.